I cannot hear you. You muted?
How's that? Is that better?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, bizarre. No, sorry, just had to do, of course, I had to reboot right then. Did you ask if I was at the ocean?
No, I commented on your ocean background.
That's so funny. Yeah, this room is a complete nightmare. This new place that we're in. So once we get it all settled, I'll let you see it.
Oh, okay.
How did it go with submitting? Did you happen to get to submit?
Yeah, I submitted. I think I still need to get the timing right because like sometimes I can get like 40 plus views when it comes out. Other times I'll get nothing. So
Oh, even within the time that you submitted it? Really? Wow, good for you. But you're saying that, yeah, I can imagine you've got to time it perfectly.
yeah, definitely leading towards more around lunchtime than the time I'm actually picking because I only got 19 views so far.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Well, let me know. I'm curious how long it takes you to get up to those other views.
Hmm.
I gotta get rid of this background. It's driving me crazy. Um, yeah, there we go. That's better. No, wait a minute. Hang on. No, there we go. Um, wow. Yeah, I'd love to hear how long it takes you to get to that 40. That would be really cool. You're saying it usually if you time it right, but you don't. You're still trying to figure out what the timing is.
Yeah, if I time it right, I can get about 40 views in about an hour. But if I time it wrong, then I get just, like barely anything.
Fair. Okay. Well, good luck. I love the fact that you're plugging ahead each week with a new thing. That's
Mhm.
fantastic. And great news with this one. This chapter was I liked it even better than the last one. Let me just pull it up here.
Right.
The pace, again, your pacing, your emotional, authenticity, for lack of a better term, the reveals, the way she sort of slowly discovers, like the whole idea that where she says, why were his insides made of crystal, things like that. I mean, this was really great the way this played out. The movement and it felt like it was really moving from one thing to the next, in just the right way. Um, Little things you can do this. It sounds like she's saying this out loud. It felt like it might make more sense to just hear her thinking it rather than saying these things later or saying these things out loud, which may be what you intended. It's all the right stuff, though. Like everything just flows really nice. This is where it really hit me when I got down here. She didn't know the way out, but she could feel it was almost like the planets were calling her first this way, then that. That's wicked. That idea of just sort of that disorienting feeling of where am I going, and somehow feeling that the environment is interacting with her was really, really powerful. All of this was good. I like the fact this is something that really hit me too. None of them were able to touch her. She zoomed into the forest at almost 50 kilometers an hour. I love this because we see her really being heroic, like in the truest sense. In other words, she's not just super powered. She's really quite heroic here. Like her
Mhm.
movements are doing whatever it takes to save Julius, which gives an entirely different flavor to this chapter, which is always what I was looking forward to about it. Um, it just feels right. It feels like it's the right time for a chapter like this, and the way you've written it is fantastic. I've got basically nothing here. Great hook as we go in. This felt like a perfect time to switch to Dick too, and this switch over to Dick was really really effective. What he says, what he's doing. The stakes were just perfect in just the right place. If Julius and Ramona don't show up in the next 5 minutes, we're leaving. Understood. Like that felt like you have to do it, and I believe that that's exactly what Julius would expect Dick to do,
Mhm.
in a situation like this. So it feels real, it feels genuine, it feels legit. Like, come on, Julius, Dick muttered, "Where are you?" If this is just a comment, this is not because I think you need to do it. That's if it was a movie, go, Dick, where are you? That's where the camera would cut to Ramona and see whatever she's doing next. And I thought that you were going to do it, but then the two are merging here pretty quickly. So um, I like the way that we're getting to Ramona, relatively quickly when she joins them. We were just like, we just got tossed a nuke down there, fuck the mountain. Um, yeah, like this is great. And again, a wicked hook. I should have put that again here. This is exactly right. I think this is one of your real strengths as a writer, because I feel you've really kind of come into your own when it comes to if you're going to do this within a chapter, sort of have two or three junction points where you've got a cliffhanger that then encourages a person to move forward. The word beat, the way we use it in writing, is meant to parallel a heartbeat. If obviously if the heart doesn't move blood through the system, boop,
Hmm.
boop, 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 everything stagnates and a person dies. So it's really quickly to keep the blood flowing, which is where that term beats comes from. So it's all about keeping the action moving and the audience engaged, which you do so well in this chapter. Um, even the reaction here, it was a bomb. He decided it was time to leave through the portal. It was just kind of good. And I thought, but I also thought, like, really, that's his superior intelligence best idea is to just leave. And I thought, yeah, that's probably what I'd do too. Although he comes across as pragmatic yet cowardly, which I like. I think it's a really good thing for him to do
That
because it's like, well, what should he do? You know?
that's kind of the whole Al Noon thing, kind of like a Starscream-esque species with mind powers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just so they really come across as kind of a simple. I go back and forth trying to figure out: am I supposed to believe they're like really deadly? Definitely not like predator,
Well,
where
no,
these
but like
creatures are like,
remember, this is basically a Jello creature that a 4-year-old could beat to death. So, not a lot of Kurt. That's what really differentiates Morty is that he comes in like a full-on mech suit, Doom guy music going in the background. So he's actually like physically deadly, unlike all the other ones, which instantly die once you get close.
yeah, yeah, exactly. No, this is it's perfect. So his leaving felt like just the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Um, the only thing I had, the only minor, it's not even a critique, it's just a question. It felt like um when he came out of it, the rookie did good. I wondered if there might be value in him having I don't expect him to go thanks Ramona and give him a big hug because that was definitely not what Julius would do. But I wondered if there might be value, and even if it's just a more of a look, more of a moment, because she did just this is just about him saving his
Yeah.
life. And
I actually wrote an alternative version of this. I don't think I gave it to you. In that one, we're doing this basically from Julius's perspective, and in there, I kind of point out that for Julius, the alternative to Ramona saving him was him like waking up in like 6+ months and then having to dig himself out of the mountain.
oh, whoa, interesting. I like this better. I think I like this better, but that's interesting. I'd be curious to see where that goes. So it just felt like that, given everything that Ramona did, and given how much of the chapter really, the bulk of it, has led up to this moment, I felt like I just wanted a little more of a moment with the two of them. Regardless, it feels like from this point forward, I will assume that he is in her corner most or all of the time from this point forward. Not because he thinks he owes it to her, but because she has completely won his respect. This whole moment,
She's
if he,
proven to be
whatever,
competent.
yeah, and in a way that's saved his life, or saved his life in a certain sense. So it's like, yeah, if I was Julius from this point forward, yeah, yeah, she's my girl, and I'm moving forward with her. You can still have bantery moments together, but I feel like he's in her corner now. I feel like he always has been sort of more or less in her corner, except for that moment where he's like, why is she coming on this mission? I mean, he definitely showed a willingness to fight for her at least a couple of times, actually, previous to their even leaving. But yeah, this was just really, really great. I love the questions that he's asking too. Do we have Dr. Winters? No, sir. Um, like it's what the vibe I got off of that is, what did I miss? What's happened while I was away, kind of thing like that. So that's and it reminds us what at least part of the mission is. Um, I had nothing more than that, Hayden. I thought this was one of your cleanest chapters. Um,
Hmm.
not a lot of repetition. I didn't feel like there was. I didn't get it much into any kind of. I would still do a grammar and spelling. I didn't really hit it for that per se. I was way more interested this time in really getting the story, and it's because you pulled me immediately into it, and I didn't care about stopping and checking for those checks. So I'll leave that with you in terms of grammar, spelling, punctuation. This was solid. This may be one of your cleanest, smoothest, most enjoyable to read chapters that you've ever written.
Hmm. Okay, that sounds good. That's good. Yeah, so stick
Do
with
you have any
Ramona.
questions?
Yeah. So are we sticking with Ramona's at the very end?
This one here, when she
Yeah,
walked
at,
when she
at her
walked after them.
perspective for the ending.
Yeah, I think
Mhm.
so. And then it sort of bookends the whole thing.
Yeah, I should
It's sort of
mention
given her this
there is
chapter.
like one line I forgot to add and give to you, and that's basically Ramona asking if this is like how all the missions will go, and then Julius like, oh gods no, this is this is no
They'll
no
be way they'll be way worse than this. Yeah.
No,
That's a great.
more along the other way. Whole thing went horribly out of control. This is not indicative of what our daily lives are like.
Or you could, yeah, I like that. Or you could go, well, this isn't the way they usually are, but I have a feeling we could see more of this. Like it depends on what tone you want to set, because you could have your cake and eat it too, where you say, no, it's not normally like this, but I'm afraid it might be more of this in the future, kind of thing, or whatever. Depends on what you're going for. I got nothing to prescribe, but I like that whole exchange. Is everything like this? It's a great way to wrap up the last few chapters, because you had a few chapters in a row here. It feels like two or three that together have been sort of this chunk um, of the story. So it's a great way to cap it. Remind me what happens next?
Um, that's it. It's just epilogues now.
Oh, nice! Wow, very cool, man. And then so epilogues now. So what? Remind me. Is this is? Have you got another book coming then, or have you got
Yeah,
another section coming? Or
yeah.
okay,
This is just like book one of volume one. So yeah, the next three focus one's on Morty, one's on Puck, and one's on Daphne.
okay, I'm glad you're saying there's an epilogue, because it does feel, if this is going to be the end, it does feel like there needs to be some kind of closure to sort of wrap up, summarize, or whatever, bring the whole thing
Yeah.
to a head, like or at least sort of give us a sense, and sort of bookend it, like whatever the first chapter sort of introduced. It sort of feels like an episode, like Stranger Things or any of those kinds of shows. Usually, if it was a series, TV show, the series might end by reminding us what the original problem was, or going back to episode one, or any of those things. What are your plans for the epilogue?
One's for Puck, and that's the Alchemist's
Oh, okay.
replacement. So that's going to show him making a deal for the Elder Tears, and walking away. And then I've got one for Morty, and that one's actually already done.
So your epilogues are more, they almost resemble like end credit scenes, like
Pretty
you
much.
thought the thing was over. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then that's the only thing then I might, if there's, I don't know what I would even suggest. I'd have to give it some more thought, but I would be curious to see if there's a way to sort of anticipate the next book, or to, sum up with, like, now I really want to hear Julius say, almost I want the closing lines to what Julius says to her in response. I almost feel like I would rather him say nothing to her after he's come back to life, and have her wonder, "Are you going to thank me?" And then after everybody's out of the room, he thanks her at the end of this chapter. It feels like it wants to have some kind of closure on Julius and Ramona in a slightly more meaningful way, a slightly more positive way. That's up to you.
Hmm.
Your call. That's the only thing it feels like it's missing, now that I know this is the wrap up. But a solid chapter. What a way! What, you end with a bang. I think it's one of your best.
Okay, so big two things kind of push on the emotional aspect for their end conversation. Everything else was good.
Absolutely. And I hear I'm just so I remember too.
Ah, shit.
What's wrong?
I just realized I didn't post the update. I posted the last one.
Oh,
So chapter 18 still needs to be fixed.
can you do that when you've already submitted it? Can you go
Yeah,
back and do
yeah.
an edit?
Some people might get annoyed, but beyond that, yeah, I can just edit it on the fly.
Gotcha. So I've just added those extra lines, those extra thoughts in there, just so that I remember them as well. No, great close, Hayden. That was absolutely fantastic. What are your thoughts for next then? Are we going into another book, or are we going into the epilogue? What are your thoughts?
I think we'll take a quick peek at the epilogue. Then I think we might take a break for a bit, possibly. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah.
And then we'll just jump right into the next one, which, if I remember correctly, is the drug dealers selling health potions.
Okay, that sounds perfect. I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm sending you the notes there. You should have them now. And same time next Monday. Can we do Monday at 5 o'clock your time again?
Yeah, Monday works perfectly.
Awesome. All right. Best of luck, Hayden.
Will do. See you next week.
Take care. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.